See numerous challenges facing the country, said preserving the library was one of the ways of immortalizing Olunloyo. He also added that the government would also inaugurate the Omololu Olunloyo Leisure Park at Alakia Airport area of Ibadan, which was named after the revered statesman in 2023. The Alaafin of Oyo, Oba Abimbola Owade, has stated that Oyo Empire is not confined to its territory, but stretches across communities, and as such, plans are in motion to establish a cultural center for research and development where researchers can study about the Oyo Empire and contribute to the intellectual development of its people. Alaafin stated these are the book presentation launch of No Oyo by the Oyo State Minister of Information, Prince Dr. Oyelade in Ibadan, saying that the book is a foundation stone in rebuilding knowledge and identity in Oyo State as it provides a gateway to rediscovery. He, however, called on the indigenes to invest in the state and support youth for a better tomorrow. 5 years after the passing of Oyo State former Oyo State Governor, Senator Abiola Ajimobi, dignitaries, political associates, family and friends gathered in Ibadan to pay tribute to the man many described as the architect of modern Oyo State. Our correspondent, Eniola Salvador, has the report.
It was a moment of reflection and remembrance in Ibadan, the capital of Oyo State, as family, friends and political allies of the late Senator Abiola Ajimobi came together to honor his legacy 5 years after his passing.
Late Governor Ajimobi was an administrator. Not only that, he was a courageous leader. He was not afraid in taking decisions, and he was super loyal to Ibadan, where he hailed from. So we can say those things about Governor Ajimobi. And he carried out a lot of reforms while in government, and that is why we name him the architect of Oyo State.
Also at the event, former commissioner and cardiovascular surgeon Dr. Aziz Adedotun described the late governor as the best to have governed Oyo State in current democratic dispensation.
Ajimobi, based on historical factors and based on my assessment, and I'm not saying to make the public happy, that's the truth. He was so far the best governor ever to govern Oyo State. He was a transformational governor. There's no sector of the economy of governance that did not touch, from healthcare delivery to economy to agriculture to basic education. There's no way anybody can compare himself.
Even former political opponents like Honorable Sharafaddin Olaoniye Bibire acknowledged the late governor's remarkable leadership.
When the late Senator Abiola Ajimobi was the governor of Oyo State, we were in PDP then. But as a matter of fact, his efforts were worthy of commendation and emulation as the governor of Oyo State. He really turned Oyo State around. He did very well as a governor. I was one of his secret admirers, even though I was not a member of APC then.
Others, like Honorable Umar Farouk Arishikola Alao, remembered Ajimobi as a youth mentor and a political father figure.
Leader of youths, he mentored a lot of youths. I'm one of them. And he's still today the leader of the one who gave us the transformation of modern Oyo State today, that is still being well developed. So there's no way we can forget his deeds in Oyo State. He's truly a man to emulate.
For his family, the late governor's absence has left a deep void. His son, Idris Abiola Ajimobi, shared emotional reflections.
Honest with you, everything. I miss everything. And as most of you are men here, you can relate. When you are a man, your father is the only man that wants you to do better than him. Genuinely wants you to do better than him and out-achieve him. So I think I miss everything about him. His presence, his laughter, And just that, just that presence, just...
The widow of the late governor, Florence Ajimobi, spoke about her journey in the past 5 years.
As you all know, losing a friend, because my husband was not just my husband, he was my friend, he was my number one supporter, he was my mentor, he was my leader, and he was my cheerleader. So not having him around me just makes me feel so vulnerable. I miss him so much. I really, really do miss him. But I know that what he would want is for me to be strong and uphold his legacy. And that's what I'm doing today, trying to keep the flag flying.
Senator Abiola Ajimobi, who served from 2011 to 2019, is remembered for his strong leadership, development reforms, and mentorship of young leaders. 5 years on, his legacy continues to spark conversations about purposeful leadership in Oyo State and beyond. Eniola Salvador, Dominion News.
And on the foreign scene, at least 8 people have been killed and 400 injured as thousands took to the streets in a day of protests across Kenya against President William Ruto's government. The police had earlier clashed with protesters in the capital Nairobi and other cities, exactly a year on from the wave of deadly anti-government demonstrations that hit the nation in 2024. Ruto therefore urged protesters not to threaten peace and stability as crowds tried to raid his official residence but were pushed back by police. Away from Kenya to United States, where President Donald Trump called for Israel to pardon Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu or cancel his corruption trial, saying the United States would save him like it did his country. Netanyahu was indicted in 2019 in Israel on charges of bribery, fraud and breach of trust, all of which Netanyahu denies. The trial began in 2020 and involved 3 criminal cases. He has pleaded not guilty. Israeli Prime Minister Isaac Herzog has the power to pardon Netanyahu, but has been quoted by Israeli media as saying that a pardon is not currently on the table. South Korean lawmakers had said that North Korea may deploy additional troops to Russia to fight in the war against Ukraine in July or August, and Pyongyang is continuing to supply arms to Russia. South Korea Member of Parliament Lee Sung-kyun said that the National Intelligence Service (NIS) believes Russia may be ready to mount a large-scale assault against Ukraine in July or August. He also added that the agency cited a new roundup of troops for the dispatch by North Korea and a recent visit to Pyongyang by a top Russian presidential security officials as ground for its assessment. No fewer than 470 earthquakes have shaken a remote island chain in southern Japan since the beginning of this week. No major damage has been reported from the series of quakes, with a strength of at least one slightly perceptible. 2 people seated quietly indoors on Japan's 7-point seismic intensity scale. The residents have been asked to be vigilant against earthquakes that cause strong shaking, as this region has experienced extended periods of earthquake activity in the past. And in sport, Burnley has signed Germany's under-20 goalkeeper Max Weiss ahead of the return to Premier League. Scott Parker's side has paid Germany's second division side Karlsruhe to a reported fee of €5 million external for the 20-year-old. The signing comes amid interest from Newcastle and Burnley number 1 James Trafford. Always know that you can visit our website on www.dominion.org.ng to watch us live and interact with us. You can also follow us across our social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and LinkedIn at Dominion Broadcast, and on X at Dominion Cast. And that is the news update on Dominion Television. Thank you so much for watching. Good afternoon. I am Pat Aito.